Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Power Hour. Got a lot in store for you today. If you're here as an invited guest, welcome. The way it works is I will start off with a few slides, which is something new. Typically, this is all you, my audience, asking questions, sharing anecdotes, failures, successes, and specifically about your business so that I can business coach to all of you as a group. It's a very efficient way of coaching. In fact, the same style that I'm coaching you is exactly what I train, what I teach, what I endorse, how you should be selling, listen, and servicing your groups. You're a group, right? How am I working with you in a group environment? Right? The Facebook community is a group environment. We're going to be coaching to get a group environment. Why aren't you selling your groups the same way? You shouldn't be doing one-on-one sales. It would be overwhelming. Servicing your group one-on-one would be overwhelming. So this is what I'm doing, is what I hope you would be doing. I got off track, but then again, that's the ADHD brain. Taking me places I never know I'd go, but they pop into my head. And if you are a guest here and a boot camper, go ahead and start typing in your questions. I've got a ton of stuff here. We're going to start off with the slides first. And some of my boot campers may be saying, how come almost every Power Hour, Stuart's got some guests on free, and I'm paying good money to be here? Well, you probably know the answer to that, boot campers, because this is I think the most cleverest way to sell boot camp. Now, I'm not doing a sales pitch at all, but I'm talking about boot campers here. Maybe you were here because I said, hey, pop in, check it out. And if this is for you, which of course, this is only a part of what boot camp offers, this is the live interaction, then maybe you'll jump in, maybe you'll join. So as boot campers who are here now, maybe this is what puts you over the edge. I want you to taste it. I want you to sample it. That's the whole idea. Give a free sample. And if you don't like it, don't join boot camp. We'll still be friends. But pick up something here. So if you have an idea, question, anecdote, go ahead and type it in. I'm going to keep checking the boards here, and we're going to get to it. I see a lot of stuff typing in. Cool beans. Scott's back in the house. Welcome, Scott. You've been on a whirlwind tour, and it's good to see your name here. Sam is here. Voice on computer was okay. Now very broken up. Uh-oh, is my sound coming through okay? And nothing more I can do right now. Hopefully, I paid AT&T, and my Wi-Fi is good. All right, here we go. Let's get to the slides right now to kick it off here. And we started off 2 weeks ago talking about what we should do to nourish 2020 groups. And we started off acknowledging the fact that they say, I don't know who they are, that business may be soft in 2020. There's lots of business categories that they're predicting may slow down, be soft 2020, and our business is one of them. Group sales, travel sales in general. Okay, so you know what happens when we have a contracting marketplace overall? The number of total travels will shrink, which means it's going to impact you. And what are you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna say, okay, we're just gonna cut back on our expenses and just get set up for a slower year, or are you gonna grow your business despite that? Because friends, it becomes a market share game. It becomes a market share game, and it may not be as easy to convince somebody who's already decided not to travel in 2020. But it might be easier to convince those who are going to be traveling, if they're on your list, or if they book direct, or if they book with another agent, that you're the one who can help, because maybe the other agent who's not on this call today is not going to do the things I'm about to encourage you to do. So here we go. Some bullet points for you here now to nourish 2020 group business. Obviously, You need to be proactive versus reactive. Proactive versus reactive. And I want you to know, Sam, I'm glad you're here because I'm going to share your story shortly. And Julie, if you're here, both of my great boot campers, the information I'm sharing now is going to be relevant. Then we're going to dive deep. It just segues beautifully into the questions that you answered. So, okay, Stuart, that's not teaching me anything I don't already know. I got to do something versus, hope that my phone rings. You wouldn't be here today and be in boot camp or be in the power hour if you didn't believe in that. So number one, remember, I always like to start with the head and the heart first before you do anything, because you got to believe in the activities you're doing. So you need to reframe from getting sales to getting followers. Have you heard me say this before? This is the new world, friends. In the new world, it's not about, in our business, it's not about making sales. Who could I sell to? You want to buy. Hey, look, I've got these, you're not selling cantaloupes. Look, come and squeeze my cantaloupe. It's beautiful. It's fresh. Buy it. You're not a commodity. Okay. You're an experience. And if you come on too strong with the sales approach, nobody's going to want to be on your list. You're just shouting sale, 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 sale. That's not the way to go in the new world, the new e-commerce economy. So how do you get followers? Well, you build your list. That's your number one task, friends, is not to make sales, but to build your list. What I mean, that's the new way of saying build your database. And Julie, I know you asked a lot about, buying lists, and we're going to talk about that. I'm not, friends, the big believer in buying lists. I don't think you need to waste your money, because you know how many other businesses and companies have bought those lists, and those poor people like me are getting junk email or getting junk mail that it may have nothing to do with wants and likes. And I don't know who you are if I get a random postcard. It's so much better if you build your list. That should be your number one task, to build followers. And the way you do that is to position yourself as, brand yourself as a leader, as an expert, as an authority, but in something. Ad nauseum, look that up, I have talked about you embracing, adopting, committing to a niche. You've got to do it, friends. And the smaller the niche, the more successful you're going to be. That's anti-intuitive, but it is the truth. As Russell Brunson says, the riches are in the niches. We all know that. That's what I have here in boot camp. It's a niche training program. I'm not going to teach you how to sell the cruises in the Caribbean and Europe. No, that's too big. We're here talking about affinity groups, not even speculative groups. And you got to provide proof of niche. Because if you say, I'm the expert, I'm the authority, I'm the best, what if I said, I'm the group guru? And you don't know who I am. Right? Some of my friends were here for the first time. Who is this guy? I mean, prove it, Cohen. Prove you know your stuff. Well, I built boot camp. It's been there since 2015, and I get hired specifically to do gigs around that. Look at my stuff. In other words, if you're going to say you're the leader, say the expert, say the authority, when I come and check you out on your social sites and on your website, you better be speaking the same language. So I can give dozens of tips for you to do today, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to do this one slide, and then I'm going to pick this up again in boot camp. I want you to write. Now, I know you've heard this before, and some of you are saying, Stuart, I already write. And this is great, but maybe I'm going to give you a new idea, something new to write about. And some of you are like, either I can't write, I don't have time to write, or whatever. But friends, I could have said speak, make videos, and I think that would have scared away more of you because you're uncomfortable in that environment. Some of you might be doing it. I don't know. Tell me, are you? I hope you are. But right, so I'm going to make it real simple for you, give you some ideas. The most important thing is don't write about stuff you don't care about. Don't write about stuff you think people want to hear. Write about what you have zeal for. If I asked you right now, if we were in a classroom together and I said, all right, you've got 3 minutes to write one paragraph on something you love best about travel. You could do it. I know you could. Right? So let me give you some ideas of what to write about. Because friends, when you write stuff and you put it out there, people will read it and say, hey, this guy Carl, this guy Hans, this gal Dawn, this gal Crystal, they know their stuff. Yeah, sign me up because I want to get the free stuff. But if you flip into the sales mode, you're going to scare me away. Why can't you write a paragraph about what you loved about your last trip? Are you doing that? Look, you're in the travel business. I guarantee you're going on fam trips and or leading groups maybe already. Some of you are more advanced. You're already doing that. But you're traveling, aren't you? When's the last time you wrote a paragraph or two about what you did, what you saw, what you loved, what you do differently next time? You've got this. You own this. Next thing is, where are you going next and why? If I'm going to hire you to handle my travel, I'd like to know that you travel too and where you're going and why. It may not be a destination I'm interested in going, even if you're going to, it's popped into my head, going to Chicago and going to do a little bit of a foodie tour. I want to hear about it. And that's where I'm going next week, which we'll talk about after. No, it's really not a foodie tour. It's a self-built tour. We just love going places and eating our way through town and drinking and listening to great music and so forth. But actually, ADHD brain, ding, 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 squirrel. My wife, who is a board-certified cardiovascular nurse practitioner, she needs to get her CEU credits every year. So if she goes someplace fun, I tag along. Sign me up. So she's in class, I'm out exploring, and at night, we have a good time. But first, I actually am going to St. Louis. Anybody here in St. Louis? I'm speaking at a sales expo. It's for Travel Leaders Network. It was a private event for Travel Leaders Network, and this is sales expo number 2. I was in Columbus, Ohio last week. Back on track. Tell me where you're going next and why. You can do this next. You know, I love reading an article that says, here are the top 3 tips. Here are the top 3 ways. Here are the top 5 no-nos. Here are the top 5 to-dos. Why can't you do this? And I guarantee you're like, but Stuart, the stuff I'm going to write about, they probably already know. Wrong. But I love you when I'll tell you right now that I feel the same way when I get hired and get paid a lot of money to do a speaking engagement. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everybody knows this, right? I've talked about this before. Well, it's not true, friends. It's not true. First of all, I give it my personal spin. I give it my personal easy for me to say, perspective. That's the word. Thank you. Somebody out there said it, and I heard you. By the way, if you want me to turn on your mic and or camera so you can ask your question live, I'd be happy to. You just have to tell me. Type it in, say, please put my mic or camera on, and I will tell you before I do it. Okay, start a top 3 library because you can repurpose this stuff, folks. I do that. It's important. Everything should be scalable. Next, what about sharing trends? You know, you probably get, I don't know, Agent at Home or Travel Weekly or any of these, or TRO Travel Research Online, who I write for now. I write for Agent at Home as well. They talk about trends. Why can't you talk about trends? Well, Stuart, I don't really know. Sure you do. What are you getting calls for? What's hot? What's not? And if you don't know, talk to one of your BDMs. Say, hey, give me your perspective. What's hot? What's not? They know what trends are. Alaska's going to be hot. Europe's going to be hot. The river cruising on the Danube's going to be hot. This is not hot. Just repurpose that information. It certainly shows me you're the leader, the expert, the authority. And how about, this is the last point now, last bullet point. Then we're going to segue into some very exciting news that I hope is inspirational for all of us that Sam shared with me. Share good news about you. Friends, are you telling anybody that that you're enrolled in a group boot camp. I don't know. Are you telling anybody you just attended a conference? Are you telling anybody that you just achieved your certification in something? Are you telling anybody that you just finished reading this amazing book? By the way, we are going to have a little book club discussion on this book. I'm not promoting the book per se, but just this wasn't part of the plan. But my nephew wrote this book. Look at this. Look at it. Did you hear that? It's a hardcover book. It's called Travel, and it's amazing. And I'm going to tell my nephew Ricky, I'm seeing him in a couple of weeks, that he could be a group leader. He could be a group leader, right? A traveler's guide to literary locations around the world. I'm so proud of him, my nephew. Okay, so there you go. Share good news about you. And just because you think people wouldn't be interested, I bet you they would. I bet you they would. Tell your story. Okay, now I'm going to shut that screen off there. Let's see if this works. Da, 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 da. Okay, so hopefully all you see is me. Okay, I hope. We got a lot of stuff coming through here. Actually, let me do the segue first. I get this letter from Sam, Travel and Good Company. Listen, everybody, may you be inspired. I recently completed the courses through Tourism Ireland. Afterwards, I did something I've never done before. I posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, email, and mailed postcards. Julie, are you listening? And mailed postcards to my clients announcing I had successfully completed the necessary courses to become an Ireland expert and was looking forward to sharing this education and my own personal experiences in Ireland to plan some amazing trips. Are you listening? I got almost an immediate response. And Sam wasn't selling anything. She's sharing good news about an accomplishment. She's the leader, the authority, the expert. Mostly asking if I was going to do another group, because Sam's in the group business. In fact, response was so good, I have enough people who sent me their plan to go refundable $25 deposit for a Scotland Island small group tour next June, that I haven't even planned yet. Music to my ears. How often do I get called to do a gig, to write something, to deliver something that I say absolutely, and I haven't even started it yet? That's all I need to fire it up, right? We need that motivation. So I want to congratulate you, Sam, for really segueing into beautifully what I talked about this morning. I mean, the timing was literally perfect. So friends, when's the last time you did that? You shared something that you did that is going to be impressive. And Sam, I know you emailed another question. I'm going to get to that shortly, but let me check the boards here. And then Julie, we're going to you, because Julie is talking about what to say on postcards to potential new clients, what to say to people who want all of the TC credits. So that's what's coming up. Stick around here. Let me see what we got here. Hess, boot camp graduate here. Big plug for boot camp. Thank you, Hess. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Very kind. Thank you. Aaron said the sound is fine here. Kyle, hey Kyle. Kyle said the sound is perfect. Cool beans. Scott said, are you going to send out copies of the slides today? I'll tell you what, I'll post them at boot camp. Absolutely. That's a good idea. I hadn't even thought of that. Easy peasy. Leslie's in the house. Hello, Leslie. Welcome. Could you share the name of the book again? Oh, yeah, sure. It's called Booked. Booked. A Traveler's Guide to Literary Locations Around the World by Richard Kreitner. I'm so proud of him. And I'm going to his daughter's first birthday party in 2 weeks. She's so cute. Oh, I digress. Talk about personal stuff. Julie's in the house. Cool. Okay, here we go. So, friends, I know I'm going to go backwards. Let me see. Did I miss anything? Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Crystal here the first time. Crystal, I appreciate. Okay, let me take this. Crystal, appreciate any advice on marketing groups successfully without breaking the budget. That's a biggie. Oh my goodness. See, friends, I don't know what people are asking. So when I read it, you're hearing it as I read it for the first time. So I appreciate any advice on marketing group success without breaking the budget. So Crystal, I don't know what aspect of group marketing you're talking about. I don't know if you're looking to get new group business, which we're going to talk about in a second when we tackle Julie's questions, or you're talking about the fact that you have the group already booked and set up and you want to market it to the people. So I'm here to tell you that, by the way, you can still see me, right? I imagine you can still see me. Yeah, but you see no slides. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to tackle that part of it. And I think I'm going to tell you the way that most agents do it, and that way is unsuccessful. That way is not the best way. I don't want to say it's the wrong way, because if you have an incredibly strong affinity, it might work. Or if they have a history of traveling together and they're lining up outside your door to buy it even before you can take their business. Sometimes that happens. Most of the time it doesn't. So the way most agents do it is, and my boot campers know this, so bear with me. What we do is we rush to block the space, and we get the rates, and we put the rates out right away. Okay, ready, let's go, call me to book. And then you roll out the marketing. And that's what I call the bass-ackwards approach. This is a family show, okay? You need to do the exact opposite. And this is one of the most potent things I teach in boot camp is my group launch sequence, where it's opposite. We do a true product launch where I'll just give you this tip, before we announce the prices, before we say we're taking your credit card, before we open up the doors, we get them lined up outside the door. Are you hearing me, Crystal? You do that, and the day you do open up the door, if you pre-sell it, if you remove any obstacle fears, trepidation, stress points, all the reasons why they wouldn't go, if you address them first, okay? And it's a funnel. You're going to start off with these many people, and these many people are going to book. If they're still there, and you say, okay, today's presentation, we're going to reveal the pricing, the incredible package price, and we're now going to take sales for the next 24, 48 hours, and then the sale is over. The window is over. That's the way it goes. And the only real cost there, Crystal, is not for newspaper advertising, is not for email advertising, is not for Facebook advertising or Google advertising. Because if you need to do that, this is my final word, Crystal, and everybody. If you need to spend money on advertising, for you too, Julie, in general like that, it's not an affinity group. It's not an affinity group. It's a promotional speculative group. Now, asterisk, ding, 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 asterisk. Okay, if there is a source, a community, and everybody in that community are prospects for this group, it's perfect, perfect. And you cannot form a joint, a JV, I don't know why my brain isn't fully functioning today, forgive me, but you can't form a partnership with them, okay, where they can't be a sponsor, then you may have to spend a couple of dollars on advertising in that community. That should be the only time. I'm hoping, too, that if you are working with an organization and you guys are partners, that they don't charge you to market to the group, because why would they charge you to market to the group? Wouldn't they want the group to be successful? So they're like, sure, Crystal, sure, Julie, we can't give you our list, but if you give us the postcards, if you give us the email blast you want to send out, we'll disperse it for you. And of course there's no charge, because we want the group to be successful. Therefore, I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, here we go. So Julie says, I would appreciate help with what to say. So let me just read this first. This is the setup. I need to send out something to potential clients to advertise my business. So let me just say right now, I don't call people you don't know, people who don't know you, they're not potential clients. They're shoppers. They're shoppers. See, the flow, listen, everybody, the flow is the people who you don't know, who don't know you, they're shoppers. And then suddenly, if you can reach them somehow through, remember what we talked about, stuff that would influence them, proof of niche, letters, videos, whatever it may be, you're going to integrate into the marketplace. Then they will say, you know what, I'm going to get on your list, Julie, because you impress me. You're an expert, you're an authority, you're a leader. I'm going to get on your list. And when I say your list, it could be on your email list, but it could be in your Facebook group, or it could be an Instagram follower. However you collect followers, however you have the ability to reach the masses and share your stuff, they're on your list. Okay, so when they get on that list, they are then called prospects. And then if you can move them from the prospect category and then they buy from you, then you can call them a client. But they're not even prospective clients. You get that? I want you to reframe this. So she said she tried thumbtack leads, and those are sucking away my dollars. I really need to do something more cost effective to reach people. I think this goes for everybody. You're all thinking the same thing, right? My carnations, the river cruise, and Alma. Let me tell you something. We got a lot of boot campers who are very committed to Alma, and we even in our group sales success summit, we featured I think two agents who do nothing but Alma Waterways cruises. Talk about niche, right? Not just river cruise, but a particular brand. This has been a dream of putting together a garden trip to Europe. I'm also interested in trips to the Chelsea Flower Show. Cool beans. So you've got zeal for something. So let me go back up to your questions. What do you say on a postcard to potential new clients, really to shoppers, unless you're going to mail to your followers? Then they are still shoppers. Actually, if they're on your list, I take it back. They're prospects, right? You want to get them hooked to start planning something, right? So I have a postcard you guys have seen I send out, if you think big, and I keep it very generic because I ordered a lot of them, and every day I'm committed to sending out at least one. In your case, you can do the same thing, Julie, or everybody, or you can just do a whole big mailer, 200, 300, 405, have them printed out. You can have it professionally mailed out, but I'm a big believer in handwriting. I love handwriting my postcards, and I hand address them too. So just like what we talked about before, Julie, about what do you tell them? There's really two things. You can share information, share good news, share trends, share a top 3 thing, share where you're going next, share where you just back from and why. Or say you have an information presentation, invite them to an information presentation. So those are two things. The third thing you can do, Julie, if you know who that person is, and then that really helps if you're going to do a handwritten card, then just make it a handwritten card saying, hey, thinking of you, listen to me, everybody. You should be sending out 1, 5, 10 postcards a day to people who you know, who know you. Hey, thought of you today. Let's schedule a 15-minute appointment to chat about 2020. I have some great ideas, and I've been following the trends. Don't talk anything about sales. You'll scare them away, push them away. And if they know you, you got a real good shot, Julie and everybody, okay, of saying, they go home and listen, we should jump on a call with Crystal here, with Julie here, with Hans here, with Scott here, with Carl here, with Kyle here, because she's got some interesting information to share. She's got trends, and you don't think discounts and deals. That's scary stuff. But you can look at great opportunities for next year. Maybe there are promotional offers. That's okay, but remember, we never want to get into the discount game. Okay, great opportunities. What's trending? What's hot for next year? Especially if you know who they are, what they book, or at least what their interests are. Or you can say, tell me what you're thinking about doing in 2020, And in our meeting, I'll share with you what's hot, what's not, and some great options. You see what I'm saying? That's what I would do in a postcard. What do you say to people who want all of the TC credits? Read my lips. They're not yours. They're for the tour leader. Are you a tour leader? If you're going to conduct the tour, if you're the tour leader, then maybe I can work it out. But they're not yours. I know you're looking at me saying, "Oh my gosh, how can I say that to my client?" Well, friends, unfortunately, there are some travel professionals out there who tell their clients, their prospects, about TCs. It's none of their business. Hans, you've heard this before. Scott, you've heard this before. Kyle, you've heard this before. TC credits are none of their business. I said it again for emphasis and impact. It's your business. Now, I'd love for you to have the cojones. Can I say that? Can I say that? I just did. And say, it's none of your business, the TCs. They're not yours. But I know that's a little awkward. So here's what I would tell you to say, because unfortunately, another agent spoiled it for you and said, "Oh, that's how you travel free. I earn TCs and I'll give it to you." And I love you. So please don't think I'm picking on you if you've done this, because I know you're never going to do it again. It's none of their darn business. So here's what you want to do and say, yes, many of our brands to attract groups, because they love doing groups. I love doing groups. I negotiate for what's called tour conductor credits, because if they already know it, they already know it. They're never guaranteed and they're never free. True and true. And if they ask you about it, you can tell them. You're the expert. And don't you worry about that. I'm going to handle the negotiations on that. And so I'm not hearing that. What are you going to do with the TC credit? Ask them. What do you want with it? Well, I want to go free. You want to go free? Okay. I'll tell you what. I'm happy. Listen, I am delighted. So you delivered the bad news, saying it's none of your business, and that no, I can't just give it to you because they're not guaranteed and they're not free. But here's the good news. So if you want to use them personally to go free, we can make that happen. I'm going to work out some numbers, and if it's acceptable to you, I'll go negotiate on your behalf and our behalf that if we sell a certain amount of staterooms, you can. But I need to define free for you, because there's still port taxes and this, that, the other thing, or whatever you need to do. But we can structure it. We can structure it like that. What do you say? If they're like, thumbs up, great. If they're like, what do you mean? So you can't promise you up front, it's not guaranteed, I may have to pay. And you say, yes. And friends, if you've got a group leader who won't aspire to that, who isn't willing to have skin in the game, who is being selfish versus selfless. In other words, they're more concerned about the success of them going free than the success of the group. Here's what you say. Sayonara. See you later. You can go book that group someplace else with an agent who's going to end up losing money on this, who's going to be out of business soon enough. But that's not the way we do business. I'm a professional, seasoned group travel expert. And anybody who tells you it's free and guaranteed up front is wrong. Can you do that? Woo, whiskers. I need a cocktail. Number 3, where can I find a good mailing list that is local to my area? Join a group, networking group. I know we have BNI somewhere coming in here. I wouldn't say buy a list. I would say get up, get out, join a group, start a group. Okay, see, we have 2 kinds of communities you need to integrate into, friends, to nurture new business. You need to integrate into online communities, Facebook groups, Instagram, follow people, and become the authority. Don't sell, share information, answer others, And then locally, get up and get out. We talk about this all the time. At least once a month, I'm paying $25 to go to a lunch and learn. Are you? Are you volunteering? I'm a volunteer leadership coach, a mentor for a student every year at University of Memphis. It's called the MILE program. And I can't tell you how many people I've met through that networking. That's how you build your list. You get up, you get out, you offer to do. I just did a free pro bono social wellness speech at University of Memphis for a different adjunct professor. What are you doing to give back to the community? How are you integrating? What cards are you collecting? Are you going to some of these networking events, lunch, whatever? Do something. Either have an event where you're featured and your BDM can speak to, or go to an event where there's an opportunity to meet other people, shake hands, put yourself in opportunities' way. These days, and I know, Julie, this may not be one because this would be so easy. Wouldn't it be easy if all of us could just buy a list? Hey, those are my prospects. Those are future clients. Boom, I'm here. Come and buy from me. Doesn't work like that. Plus, you want to hit them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You need to hit that person 5 times before they pick up the phone and call you, join your list. At the very least. Maybe you'll get them the first time, but it could take up to 5 times before they say, hey, take me off your list. I don't want to receive this from you anymore. Or, okay, tell me, talk to me. You're cool. You know your stuff. And number 4, how can I find a good company for an email marketing campaign? So it's along those same lines, although I am a big believer in email marketing campaigns. You just got to be careful because don't be spam. Right? Don't be spam. And if I'm on your list and you're sending me emails of stuff that I don't really care about, I don't do ocean cruising. Stop sending me these particular, Caribbean cruises. I'm just interested in Europe. I'm interested in doing a transatlantic and I want to do an around the world trip. I'm off the list. So it needs to be very targeted. And I use MailChimp. I'm about to change because they went up in price. I'm about to use, I think, Scott, you recommended it, Sendinblue, I think. I know everyone's got their own solutions. There's Constant Contact. There are many different email campaigns. And frankly, Julie and the rest of you, if you're uncomfortable initiating this, then, I cannot do this, I do not do this, but hire somebody, a coach, a consultant who will manage your database for you and do this. So they'll create the graphics, the emails, they'll show you how you can tag and how you can monitor and check the click-throughs, so forth and so on. I hope that helps. And just one more thing, friends, one more thing. First, you want to go fishing where you know the fish are that you want to catch. Okay, so Julie, are you niched or not? Because if you're not niched yet, then there's a big ocean out there, and where do you fish? If you can niche, the better. Because I know you say here luxury cruising, group cruises. Hey, listen, I love you, but everyone on this call right now wants to sell more luxury. Everyone on this call right now wants to sell upscale. I have yet to meet somebody who says, nope, I specialize in cheap, cheap, cheap. The 1 day, the 3 night, the 2 night, the weekend. That's all I do. Nobody wants that. We all want the good business, but you have to define that. What is luxury to you? Is it LeBlanc? Okay. Is it, Crystal Cruise? What is luxury? What's the luxury experience that you're going to specialize in? Define luxury because it's used, overused, abused, and meaningless. Meaningless. So we have to describe what that luxury means, and then I'll know if I want to jump on your list. If I think you can help me. All right, let's check the Lucy, brand new boot camper. Welcome, Lucy. Says, should I charge a non-refundable planning fee? Great question. Some agents do. Most agents don't. So here's what I would suggest. If you have a feeling they're just using you and they're just making the rounds, and Lucy, this is important. If they're not willing to spend time in person or on the phone with you so that you can qualify, remember, because before you present to them a magnificent, more inclusive package, you need to qualify. If they're not unwilling to give you the time for you to ask the high mileage questions, so that you can deliver what they're looking for and have a better chance of making the sale, opening the sale, then I would charge them a non-refundable fee. And here's what's going to happen, Lucy. They're going to say, nah, goodbye, I'm out of here. And you're going to say, okay, good luck. And on the other hand, if they are willing to pay that fee, I think that's awesome. And some agents I know just apply whatever that's $100, $200 fee towards the booking, right? Towards the booking. And Lucy, this is a great, you're new in boot camp. This is a great question to post in boot camp to see what others are doing, best practices. The other part of this equation is, are you getting a sort of a trial commitment letter, right? A commitment letter, 30-day commitment letter saying, tell you what, in this next 30 days, you're giving me 30 days to come up and to ask you questions, to prepare this, but you also promise that you're not going to go anyplace else, and I promise you're going to get my full and total attention, right? It's like a non-compete for 30 days. So you can get that with the money or not the money, but at least that. So you know they're serious. You got to know they're serious. That's what I would suggest. And I'm going to read on to see what other people are saying too. Carl's here. He says, is it better to find a group first and then arrange a tour, or pick a tour, then try to get a group to go? Great question. And I'm going to have the ability to tie something in here, Carl, because you can do both. My suggestion is to find the group first. Okay. Find the group, get the lead, or make an appointment. Set a 15-minute, Julie, are you listening? There's another way to find group business. I talk about this all the time. Get up, get out, set 15-minute meetings with people in the community, either other local businesses or people you're interested in. But friends, and I know Janice, I'm going to talk to you in just a second. It's about, when we sell our idea, when we say, hey, I have an idea, let's do this, it's unlikely it's going to work, friends. Your group needs to solve a problem. And your goal is to figure out what their problem is, okay? So, Carl, if you have that group and you realize that, man, I think group travel is a great solution to your problem. What's your problem? Customer loyalty. You want to do a big event. It's your 10th year anniversary in business. Great. Let's do something together with your best friends, with your best clients, okay? And then you can back into the group, right? Then you can back into it, and hopefully it's in your sweet spot, Carl. It's a type of a travel. It's a tour that you are a specialist in, you're comfortable with. It's right in your sweet spot. I love saying that. When I get a call for a gig and they say, hey, Stuart, we need somebody to do this, this, or this. What do you think? I'm like, that's smack in the middle. I just booked a 2-hour sales retreat for a company on Long Island, great company, where I used to work actually years ago. And I said, this is my sweet spot. It's what I do. I love the sound of this. Let's talk. Let's talk. But if it's something, Carl, that's not in your sweet spot, don't get involved in something you don't want to do, or it's not, you just know it's not going to be profitable, or it's just not something you're comfortable, you're not an expert with. Now, the other way to do this is, and Sam, you had mentioned this too. Remember what I said before, everybody, that Sam got the, she's a Tourism Ireland certified now. And now she's got people coming. So Sam had just emailed me right before we started. She's hosting. Sam is leading. Listen, Carl, and everybody, this is a very important solution forever to build your group business, but especially in 2020, which could be a soft year. Are you leading a group? Go where you want to go. So Carl, why don't you go someplace you want to go, and then you can invite all your followers, especially those who have expressed an interest in going there. So Sam has got 2 groups. She's got one in the Alma Magna, okay, and she and then she's got one, of course, of Ireland. And so Sam was asking, so this is relevant here, does it make sense to promote both of the groups that she is leading? Now, you have a real better shot, and this is not really a speculative group. It's affinity in that you're the leader and you're going to bring your followers, friends, and family. Remember, I did this in my 2017 I'm a Christina group, my partial ship charter. It was strictly, that's affinity. They knew me. But then again, some family and friends brought their family and friends who I got to know. So this is part speculative, but almost more affinity because you're the leader. So Carl, you can decide to go someplace you want to go and invite your clients, your friends and family to go. And maybe they were on the fence about going in 2020 because it could be a soft year and what's going to happen financially, whatever. Well, if Carl's going, we'll go. Let's go with him. I trust him. Same with Sam. So Sam, the answer to your question is, should you do it in one email or one postcard flyer? I would, because you're leading both. You are the affinity, Sam. You're the magnet. People are going for two reasons. Number one, if Sam's going, I want to go with Sam. I trust her. She's the best. We're not going to miss anything because she's going. And number two, hey, that's a destination we've always wanted to go to. That's the way that works. There's two things there. Sam's going, the agent's going, you're the group leader. Number two, it's a destination we want to go to. Yes, I'd put them both in and make it a big deal. You're so excited to announce where you're going, but do it, roll it out in a do group launch sequence, Sam. Okay, an information presentation. And that you may have to break out. So next week, we're going to do a three-step or whatever, three-stage information presentation, group launch sequence. I'm going to tell you about Ireland because that's coming up first. But hang on, because you may want to come on both or one or the other. You don't want to give them a choice of no. So it's which one will you come on? This one or this one? I can't wait to travel with you, right? And then the week after, we're going to, as soon as my package pricing is finalized, I'm going to give the information presentation. Boy, I'd love to have you come on both, but at least pick one or the other. Let me know which you want to go on. So I would join them together, but when it comes to the actual launch process, your product launch, your group launch sequence, then you do have to do that separate, I believe. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let's see. Let me hear. Book again. Hold on, I'm checking the boards here. Scott said, love the Stuart. Thank you. Glad you like it. I think you're referring to the slides. Crystal said, exactly what I needed to hear. You are most welcome. Scott said, hey, it's always good to hear about the TCs again. Good. I'll say that again and again and again. It's none of their business. And you know what? Once you get comfortable with your response and confident saying, no, you know, it's like asking a real estate agent, so what's your keep here? What's your game? You know, how many other people are you showing this out? How does it work too bad? You know, they're not going to tell you, right? It's your business, friends. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, Crystal said, and then I'm going to go here. Janice, you're up next. Janice is up next, and we've got 12 minutes left. Please get in your questions, comments, so forth and so on. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. By the way, the next Power Hour is October 3. It's from 11 to noon Eastern time. Of course, I'm in Memphis, so it's Central time. Next week, I didn't see anybody respond to that, but it's a private training event for Travel Leaders Network. It's the second in my 4-city series in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm excited about that. And then I'm going to do some Chicago. And then I may have to reschedule a Power Hour we have scheduled on a Monday because I got booked for a gig. And I'm so sorry to do this here, but my boot campers, I know you understand. Give me grace here. Please give me grace here. I'll reschedule. We'll make it work. And but we know early enough now, so it's not terribly close in. Crystal says, can you expand a bit on email campaigns? Do you recommend promoting more than one trip in a single email? You know, that's a great question, Crystal, because like in Sam's case, she can send an email out saying, great news. Here's where I'm going in 2020. Want to come with me? And you can. She's going to list, and you can list those trips. Or perhaps, Crystal, you can say, hey, everybody, I've done some research for you, and here's what's hot. Here's what's trending. Now, Crystal, when you say lead promoting more than trip in a single email, let's make sure we understand the difference between affinity and promotion. Okay, Crystal, if let me just put sort of a fence around this too. If you're leading one or more trips, absolutely list them all. Because those I consider affinity. You're going to fill in with your friends and family and clients. Okay. If you already have multiple groups lined up for different different groups, different departures, different dates, and they are allowing you to promote it, then that's fine. But there's some groups that are private, like if it's a Kiwanis or a Rotary, if it's a company, if it's a knitting group, and you have to be a member. They may not want you to promote it. Maybe you can reference it and say, I'm so excited to be working with these incredible clients. These are the groups I'm working on. Are you part of a group? Are you part of an organization? What special events are on your horizon? I can be your group expert. I'll make sure you don't miss anything. I'll create a more inclusive package, blah, blah, blah. You know, those kind of sell points, that kind of copy. So you're listing it just as a reference, but you can't sell it to them. Or maybe it's true. Maybe, Crystal, maybe you have affinity groups lined up with the chef of this restaurant, with an author of this book who lives locally too. And yeah, hey, if you like this food at this restaurant, or just ever want to meet the chef and we're going to do stuff together, come on, you're invited. Then you can list it. Now, listen to me carefully. If you have blocked space, whether you blocked it yourself or your consortia or your host has blocked it, and maybe they're calling them group trips, which I think is a terrible mistake, because some people get turned off by seeing it's a group trip. Well, then I don't want to go with that group. I'm just going with my wife or my husband, and you know, we'd rather you just make it us. Well, no, you don't understand. It's a group, but you don't have to be with it. Well, no, right? You got to be careful about that. But if you're promoting these speculative groups, promotional groups, then that's not the game I'm talking about here, Crystal. Now you can go ahead and you can promote that all you want as wonderful opportunities, not deals, not discounts, because it's going to come back and bite you. But these are great options. Limited space. That's fine. I'm all for that. But be really careful. It's not affinity. There's a spec of promotion. Okay, different ball game. So you're referring to affinity. Okay, there you go. So I hope that answer was inclusive and helped you. Okay, now Janice from Coos Banner said, I definitely like to start out with either doing an affinity group or fundraising group. Listen up, everybody. These are some examples. I asked a triathlon club in my area about doing a bike tour with Trek Travel. Now, Trek Travel we featured in my last Group Sales Success Summit. It was GSSS2, where we focused on niche groups, a niche business. And we had a wonderful lady from Trek Travel on. And so there, the president of the club said he pinged the message to other members, but there was no interest. So, okay, cool. But Janice, what did we say before? What problem are you solving? Does the club are they looking to do something and go someplace to bike, to run, to swim? There has to be so it can't just, and I think that's good because that's like a little bit of a survey. Now I don't know if you know what he pinged and what he sent out there, but you could create a survey, a 1-question survey, right? And that's in boot camp too, which I don't know if you've gotten to yet, Janice. That's actually the first stage of the group launch sequence, a 1-question survey. But you need to write that survey. 1-question survey with multiple choice answers to get feedback, to get people peaked, to get people interested, to get really good information back to know if you're on course or not. But remember, it's not going to work unless you're solving a problem. And that club is like, yeah, we want to do this. We're going to rally the troops. It can't be as simple as, hey, if we do something, who would want to go? You know, because then if somebody says yes, then they're obligating themselves, and most people don't want to put themselves in a position of obligation. Well, you answered back, you said you'd want to go. Well, no, it's too much money. It's not where I want to go. No, we got to go really gingerly there. So now for affinity groups, I'd like to connect with one of my fellow BNI. Now, how many of you are members of BNI? We've talked about this. We have a lot of BNI groups here. I've been a guest at some BNI. I haven't joined. I don't join me because I travel too much. I couldn't be able to fulfill that commitment. But are you in BNI? How do you work that? And she says, Janice says, somebody's a caterer and a chef, and you're thinking of developing group crews, and I love it, love it, love it. But here's the thing. We need to approach it in a problem-solving fashion versus a sales fashion. If we send them an email saying, I have an idea to do this, this, and this, and this, then you're just selling them your idea. You're helping yourself, not them. Am I right? Right? If you get an email from somebody who does termite treatments, and they say, "Hi, I want to come to your house and spray for termites." What do you think? Well, you don't even know if I've got a termite problem, right? Why don't you say, listen, if you think you have a termite problem, that means you don't know. So let me come out and look. Let's see if you've got a problem. If you've got a problem, then I can help. But at least let's see if you've got a problem, right? You can't just move right into the sales mode. I guess I'm a little scared to do this because I don't want to come up with another. Hey, I get it. Listen, we need to come up with duds, friends. We need to have make phone calls and send out postcards and try to have meetings. And not all of them are going to work, but it's the law of averages too, right? The more you put yourself in opportunities' way, the more something is going to happen. Somebody is going to find you and say, you know what, Janice, I need you. I've got this problem. I've got this opportunity. And let's go celebrate our 10th year anniversary of being in business. Sure, let's go someplace to do that. Remember that key question. What big events are on your horizon? That's worth $1 million right there. And then the last point here, and I'm going to get to your final question. Stick with me. We've got 4.5 minutes left. Fundraising groups. No idea where to start. And she talked to BDM. So I always say I encourage you to talk to, get trends from, get information from your BDMs. They're out there banging the doors of travel professionals like you every single day. You need to ask them, hey, what am I missing? What's working? What are they doing that I'm not? What am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? When I was a BDM back in the day, a DSM, I loved it when an owner would ask that to me. But too often, they thought they knew it all. And I was just there as a punching bag. Oh, I need this free. Can you give me more commission? Blah, 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 blah. That's not the way you want to use me, to leverage me, to help you grow your business. Your success is my success. So yeah, talk to your BDMs. Now, about fundraising, Hans, he's into fundraising. We've got a lot of agents who've tried it and failed. We have some who are successful. It sounds great. It's shiny. The challenge is that it's not easy, because the secret to success behind the fundraiser, Janice, and everybody, and this is, I think, my last big point, but I'm going to check the boards here, so stay with me. The only way a fundraising group works is when that affinity, the reason it's so strong, it's so compelling, and that the fact that some money proceeds are going back to the organization is almost secondary. Too often we say, okay, we're going on this cruise and $500 is going back to St. Jude or whatever organization. And then, the consumer goes back and says, okay, well, you know what? It's easier if I just write you a check for the $500 because I can go on vacation at any time. It has to be different. It has to be, wow, look at this trip. We're going to go here, do this, and look who's going to be there speaking and talking about their book, and we're going to have a yoga and whatever. Oh, this is an amazing event, and it's sponsored by the organization, and proceeds are going back to them. We have to reframe that. Do you understand that, everybody? That the way a fundraiser works, right, Hans, is that the event itself, it has to come first. It has to be so exciting, so compelling, and as an afterthought, the booster, the incredible bonus is that I'm going to feel great going on this trip with these people because we've got something in common, right? We're like-minded. We support this politically. We support it philosophically. We got stuff in common. We want to be together. And we're supporting a good cause too, a good organization that needs our support. We need to be there. We need to be seen. We need to go have a good time. Hans, you tell me. I'm gonna see if anybody has any comments there. Julie said, "Do people see it as a problem?" Well, the problem has to be. I think if they say I'm here to help you with a problem, they are going to say they don't have a problem. Absolutely. So we're going to talk about this more in boot camp, Julie. We're just about out of time, but you can't say what's your problem. I know it's just, I might do that because I'm slightly nuts, but here's how you ask it. What's your challenge? What's your greatest challenge? When I do my boot camp launches, I do a couple a year, I start off with a question saying, what are your biggest challenges doing groups? What are your biggest challenges? Then I know what the problem is. So Julie, you can say, hey, as a chef, as a restaurant owner, as an author, as a yoga instructor, what's your biggest challenge running your business? That's, let them bring it out. Or if they have got a huge family or it's an organization. So what's your biggest challenge around this 20th anniversary celebration that's coming up in 2 years? Well, we don't know what to do, where to have it. We want it to be special. That's the problem. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Janice said, I'm here, Stuart. Thanks for answering my questions. Extremely helpful. Good deal. Hess said, and this is the wind down, folks. We got seconds left. You're right on the spot about the fundraising questions. And Hess is in the business of fundraising. Hans. Why do I keep calling you Hess? Hans. But it's because it says male Hess. It's Hans. Strange. The hookup cannot be fundraising. There you go. Kay, welcome. You do not want to tell them. Yes, you do. You do want to tell them that money goes back too, but that's almost secondary. The hook has to be the trip itself, and Hans just confirmed that, and he's in the fundraising business. And big bonus, $500 goes back to this charity. It can't be $500 back to charity and we're doing this. It's just the order in which, the emphasis in which you're presenting to get them the hookers. Again, you don't want to give them the out by simply saying, hey, I'll just write you a check. Obviously there's going to be an inflated cost, but wait, why don't you wait and hear about all the amazing things we're going to be doing? No, it's too late. You lost me at hello. Does that make sense? And Julie said, makes sense. Thanks. You got it. All right, friends, it is time. I'm going to click off now. I'm so glad you're here. Any comments, suggestions, feedback, bring it. This will be posted so you can see the replay soon enough. Thanks for being here. Good luck, everybody. See you again soon.